American talk show host Jerry Springer has died. He was best known for his controversial talk show, The Jerry Springer Show, which ran from 1991 to 2018.
Hey, what's good everybody? As you've heard by now, the legendary talk show host Jerry Springer has died at the age of 79 years old due to his battle with cancer. Now, of course, I want to say RIP, but for those that are familiar with this channel and the content, we know that celebrities don't often die without some sort of numerical coding behind it. This is because the industry these celebrities are involved in is completely run by occultists and studiers and practitioners of esoteric knowledge. They believe in the concepts of ritualistic sacrifice, and celebrities of all kinds, whether they're athletes, singers, or actors, they all eventually take an oath or a Faustian bargain to take their careers to the next level. Now, some go on to live long lives despite their deals with the devil, while others unfortunately die young. Either way, I will break down the death of talk show host and former mayor Gerald Norman Springer, otherwise better known as Jerry Springer. Jerry was born on February 13, 1944 in London, England. His family moved to New York when he was just 5 years old. After attending college, Jerry was drafted into the Army and had been called to active duty in 1970, but had been stationed at Fort Knox before being discharged. After the war, Jerry attended law school and practiced law for several years before becoming involved in politics. Jerry's political career began in Cincinnati, where he moved with his family in 1971. He became a campaign advisor for Robert Kennedy's presidential campaign in 1968 and served on the Cincinnati City Council from 1971 to 1974. In 1977, he was elected as the mayor of Cincinnati, where he worked tirelessly to improve the lives of his constituents. As mayor, Jerry implemented several policies that made a significant impact on the city. He was instrumental in the development of the riverfront area, which helped to revitalize the city's downtown area. He also implemented a program that helped to provide job training for underprivileged youth, which helped to reduce unemployment rates among young people in the city. Jerry's tenure as a mayor was not without controversy. However, in 1978, he was caught in a scandal involving a prostitution ring, which nearly derailed his political career. Despite the scandal, Jerry was able to regain the trust of his constituents and continued to serve as mayor until 1979. After his stint in politics, Jerry transitioned to broadcasting and eventually became the host of The Jerry Springer Show. The show quickly gained notoriety for its controversial topics and outrageous guests, which drew both fans and critics alike. The first episode was aired on September 30th of 1991, and the public's perception of The Jerry Springer Show was pretty mixed. Some found the show entertaining and exciting due to its controversial and sensational topics, which often included discussions of sex, infidelity, and unusual or taboo behavior. However, others condemned the show for its perceived exploitation of vulnerable individuals and the promotion of sensationalism over substance. Despite criticisms, the show attracted a large and devoted audience throughout the 1990s and early 2000s. It remains one of the most controversial talk shows in the history of television. Despite the controversy surrounding the show, Jerry always made sure to handle every situation with respect and dignity. Despite that, some former guests on The Jerry Springer Show have spoken negatively about their time on the show. They regretted appearing on it and felt exploited, misrepresented, or criticized the show's producers for encouraging guests to exaggerate or fabricate their stories. Some guests were pressured to reveal embarrassing or personal information on national television, leading to criticism of the show's methods and impact. After the show ended, Jerry continued to work in television and became a successful producer and actor. Today, he is remembered as one of the most influential talk show hosts in the history of television. Alright, now with that out of the way, you guys know what I'm about to do. I'm going to break this down using the practice of gematria and date numerology. And again, for those new to the channel, gematria comes from Jewish mysticism, aka Kabbalah. It's the practice of assigning a numerical value to each letter in the alphabet. And once a word or a phrase is spelled out, it gives us a numerical value where we can see how it pairs with the date numerology, giving greater clarity as to why an event or death happened on the day that it did. There are 4 base ciphers used in conjunction with each other. And lastly, gematria is not a conspiracy. It is simply mere observations using the English language, numbers, and the calendar. Alright, so first things first, Jerry died at the age of 79 years old. Notice his name in the reduction cipher holds the value of 79. Now, I mentioned how the date numerology is important to the narrative. Notice he died on April 27th, according to his family and the reports, and this date has 38 numerology. This number is synonymous with the word death and things surrounding death. Words like murder, RIP, killing, gematria, and Kabbalah all equal 38. Now, here is where the ritual number 27 comes into play. Notice Jerry died on the 27th of April, and his famous show aired for a total of 27 years. In addition to that, the last episode aired on July 26th of 2018, which is the 207th day of the year. And lastly, Jerry was the mayor of Cincinnati in the late 70s. Notice that title holds the value of 270, like the number 27, using the rules of numerology. Now, from Jerry's 79th to his death is a span of 73 days. This number is closely associated with the sacrifice code. Also notice that the day he died, written out April 27th, 2023, holds the value of 73 in the most pure cipher, so definitely fitting that he died on this date. Now, the Jerry Springer Show went for a total of 28 seasons. Notice the title of the show, written out, holds the value of 280 in the most basic cipher. And again, using the rules of numerology, 280 turns into 28 as zeros are null. Note that his cause of death was due to cancer. Notice cancer and the Jerry Springer Show have a 2-for-2 match out of the base ciphers. Here you can see that Jerry was born on the 44th day of the year in 1944. Notice his cause of death, as we mentioned, is cancer, which equals 44. This is a perfect example of how gematria allows you to see how the numbers and the narratives align. But without understanding the code, you'll never notice or even know what to look for. Alright, so this one's pretty trippy because the spring equinox this year began on March 20th, and if you calculate from March 20th to the day Jerry Springer died, right, the spring equinox Jerry Springer, that is a span of 38 days. Jerry Springer died on a date with 38 numerology, and we know that the word death equals 38, along with those other words that I was mentioning earlier. Now, in addition to that, on March 20th, which was the 79th day of the year, we ushered in the spring equinox. Notice the word spring equals 79, and again, Jerry Springer died at the age of 79. Also, the word murder equals 79. So once again, you can see that using gematria and understanding the code allows you to kind of see through the riddle that they're actually laying down before us. Lastly, as mentioned, Jerry was once the mayor of Cincinnati. He specifically was the 56th mayor. Notice the name Society of Jesus equals 56 and 79. Both these numbers have meaning considering he died at the age of 79. Now, for those unfamiliar with the Society of Jesus, they are a military order serving the Pope, disguised as a religious order. The Jesuits are the biggest advocates for globalization under what they like to call the common good, which would ultimately lead to every country in the world being ruled by the Vatican. However, obviously, to achieve such control over the world, they had to do a lot of work in all walks of life, from politics, wars, entertainment, education, religion, you name it. Now, what am I getting at here? Essentially is that the Jesuits are largely responsible for Hollywood and the wicked content that comes out of it. I have a video talking more in depth on this that I highly recommend watching. However, let's be real, as entertaining and funny as the Jerry Springer Show was, it literally had no positive impact on the society whatsoever. If anything, it constantly highlighted and gave attention to the worst traits between humans and their relationships with one another. The reality behind scripted television like this is that people really have a hard time distinguishing between reality and TV. This leads viewers of the show to slowly become desensitized to the interactions that they see and ultimately normalize them. And once they have reached this point, what was once a thing they observed through a screen becomes the audience's reality. Like I said at the beginning of this video, RIP to the man Jerry Springer. However, it's no doubt that this show definitely wasn't something that our society needed, despite all the laughs I and many others got out of it at others' expense. But yeah, man, that's gonna wrap this up for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I really appreciate y'all tapping in. This is a little different because you know I like to do the long form videos as of lately, but I wanted to get this one out because people were requesting it. But you guys know the drill. Be sure to drop me a comment, beat the hell out of the like button, share the video, and most importantly, subscribe, man. Remember, all of those things are free to do. It's been your boy Script, and I'm out of here. Peace.